say you meet someone on campus and you tried out dating, it wasn't really working out. And so, supposedly you're supposed to meet here, come here, and if you break hands over the seal, you're supposed to be breaking up. That's kind of one of the things you can do. I know it sounds really sad, depressing, so that is the end of my tour. I hope you all enjoyed it. Did you guys get little packets?
Yeah, so I end up getting here early in the morning, and again, this is the campus that I went to school at, you know, and I saw this campus tour, and there was this line of people, and I couldn't help but just be like, don't do it, you know, or at least kind of say to them, there's more to the story than just these nice shiny buildings. There's more to the story than just, hey, this is this great dining hall, or here's where you can have this great student experience, because I'm like 6 years after, sort of like coming back from the future and saying like, wait, there's a lot more than you know about this. While it's a great thing to see people get excited about that process, I also sort of want to be the person like trying to give some perspective. Of course, I didn't, because I didn't want to be rude and jump in there and be like, no, no, no. But my initial instinct, I guess, and maybe that's what the play is for. The play is to be that sort of organized thing that says, wait a second, like, let's think about what we're really doing here. And that this is a wonderful, valuable, valid experience, but at what cost? Well, you can't smell through the camera, but there's a really like mildewy smell that's happening. But this was the old building. This was my, yeah, when I started, now see, I was a communications major. I was with an emphasis in theater. Now that was by choice, because I had people advise me like, look, you don't want to major in theater. You need a backup plan. And there was this theater in Portland that brought me in, and so the first night it was great. We had like, I think 70 people or something like that, and then the next night there was like 2 people. I've never felt worse in my entire life. Joking me? And so I was gonna call off the show, because we had a great show the night before, and I was like, whatever, I'm calling it off. And the stage manager said, well, these 2 people drove in from like 3 hours away, and they heard your interview on NPR, and they really wanted to see the show, and I did the show.
I was an inspired beat poet, and now where do I go? Here I am in this corporate structure trying to save the world. But I have to tell you, something dangerous is happening. Something dangerous is happening in our world, and I had this job, and I'm gonna be honest with you, here's what I did. The truth is, I enrolled students. I put them into debt in order to pay off my own student loan debt. That's the truth. No silver lining. But see, I hope that maybe, even if this job was just a Band-Aid job, that I could give more than I took away. I caught a glimpse of a world where the private universities, the for-profit schools, the nonprofit schools, your communities, your leaders have put our young workforce into debt. $20, $40, $60, $80, $100,000 worth. And what's the return on the investment? I mean, maybe for some people it works out, but what about the rest of us? Man, I caught a glimpse. I caught a glimpse of a world where having that kind of debt hanging over people's heads, you know what it does? It makes them better, more productive, more docile workers. And they're gonna work longer, and they're gonna work harder, and they're gonna work more obediently just to be free of it, rather than just be free.
Something. But I met my wife here. I met my wife actually across the hall on the 4th floor. And so that was really meaningful. So it's weird because like, I've been married now for almost 4 years. I've been with my wife for over 10 years now. We met in college, we met here. We met on the 4th floor. It was my sophomore year, it was her freshman year, and perfect match. So that's, I guess it's like such an awesome, so would I do it, let me tell you, would I do it all over again for that aspect of my life? Yes. Like if I had to be in debt the way I am right now, and it's as painful as it is, that's the one thing, like meeting her here, I would do it again.
She loves it though.
Yeah? How about I put her in a little thing, Hyde?
That's fine.
No.
3 years.
Oh yeah, I did move off campus for half a semester. Or how many years? Or
A year.
a year? I did move
But
off
you
campus.
were in school for 5 years, so you did.
I was in
live
school
the
for
dorm
5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was in dorm for 4 years, and then I was in off campus for 1 year. But we met in the dorms. We met at it was called. Remember when we went to Offenhauer? That's where we met. Offenhauer East, 4th floor.
Fourth floor.
So yeah, we met there, and I went down the hall because it was a co-ed dorm, and I went down the girls' side of the hallway to talk to all the girls and let them know like if they needed anything they could come over. I was like, I'm like, my name's Aaron.
He was an upperclassman.
I was like, my name's Aaron. I'm in 410 Offenhauer East, and then I had a ponytail at the time. I swear I looked like Steven Seagal, and it was like but I just walked down there, and then I saw her. I met her. We became friends, and then whatever, dude. Well, I met her. Well, I was 19 when I met you. Yeah, I was 19. 19 or 20. She was 18 or 17.
I was 18.
We were very young. We met, and I only had 1 year of college.
11 years going on 12.
I met her my sophomore year in college, and we're honest. And I'll say this: I'm not, whether camera or not, like we're happy. Like I'm really happy with her. Like it's not, because you meet those people who are like together, and they're like, we've been together for 30 years, and it's like they don't even talk. It's like quiet at the dinner table. What are you having? Like I seriously, we still to this day, like when I go, I miss her. You see me when I travel, I'm texting her, hey, how are you? I love you. And
Being away, him traveling is hard.
you,
Luciano.
you, not
Daddy,
you.
not you.
You. I'm talking to you. How you doing, OB? How you doing, OB? You.
Hey,
Huh.
Dad, you're loco.
Yeah.
So where did you end up going today?
We went to Little Italy. Drove around Steelyard Common. We went down all around there. Come out here on Saturday. It's kind of like people watching. It's like a sport, and then you put your lawn chair out, and then you just watch people go by. That's it. It's just good. It's something you grow up with. It's just really unbelievable. There's something about it when you have, because it's like ricotta cheese, but it's sweet. So it's actually dairy based, chocolate chips, and we'll use some. It's like a commercial when I bite into it. Just, it's unbelievable. That's it. I think the Sienna show was one of my favorite shows, and I told Heidi that when I came back, because I don't know, it's just one of the best shows I've ever had. I think it was a combination of having faculty on board to advocate. I think going to class beforehand was really important, and I got to engage with the students, and then just the environment of the students being there. Like, I don't know how many, they were just packed in there. They were bringing sofas in from the back, and it was like, you could tell it felt like an event, and it is an event, but at the same time people were eager, and they were, whether they knew about it or, there was just a good energy there, and the back and forth from the play to the audience and then the talk back afterwards, it was one of the best shows I've ever had. It really was.
I teach a course called Peace Building Through the Arts here.
Oh, cool.
And one of the things that I say, look, the politicians have not been able to bring us peace.
Right.
Academics have not been able to bridge that gap. We have done research, we have written, as academics, we have done all kinds. We have covered pages and pages and pages. But it hasn't happened. Maybe now is the time for the artists to take the lead.
Yeah.
To come in and bring people together, by sharing their personal experience, allow for the personal experience of the audience to flourish. Here we have an actor who is going to talk to you about the challenges of one-person performances, as well as a little bit about what he's going to be doing tonight.
Cool. Thank you.
All yours.
Appreciate it. It's nice to be here. It's nice to look at all your faces. I'll tell you a quick story really about my great-grandfather. My great-grandfather, my grandmother is actually Neapolitan. She's from Naples. My great-grandfather is from Ravenusa, Sicily. And there's a story that back in Sicily, there was a lot of corruption in the towns and things like that. And so he worked, just a laborer, but he worked in this small town, but the police were very corrupt. There was a story that there was a girl, she was like 12 or 13 years old, and she was raped and she was murdered by the police. It's a true story. My great-grandfather, with his friend, they had things many times in the old country they called vendettas, right? And so because the police couldn't provide justice, they decided that they were going to provide justice to this girl's family. And so he went and the police officer, he then finds his way and gets on a boat over to America. He just needs to escape the police. He needs to leave the country. So he flees. And he's living in the bowels of the boat, in the base, or whatever you call it. I don't know ships. But the bottom of the boat, right? And literally he's dying because I don't know how freaking long it takes to get from Sicily. I've never taken the boat, but it's a long time. So he's in the boat, he's sick, he's dying, and there was a night watchman who came down and found him. And instead of reporting him, the night watchman, who happened to be Italian, fed him the entire trip over and saved his life. And so here I am. And so that's how my great-grandfather came here. And it's so interesting because it sort of blurs the lines of right and wrong and justice and immigration and what it means, what the American dream means. Sometimes the American dream is an escape.
Aaron, how do you say your last name?
Calafato.
Aaron Calafato.
Yeah, Calafato, yeah.
Okay, he's just going to talk a little while about his performance piece tonight for profit over in 107 here in Troy.
So this is what I do. I go around the country and I perform, talk to people. But I don't just perform, I do something called solo theater for social change. Essentially what I do is I do monologues and performances, which last about an hour, but I deal with particularly socially relevant topics. But I don't just arbitrarily pick the topics and say what's hot right now. It usually comes out of an organic experience in my life. And basically this play I'm doing right now is about the $1.4 trillion student debt crisis, in which most of you are now enraptured in. Whether you have debt or you don't have debt, you're in it. And so I am as well. This play is sort of a revealing piece about me telling the story about how I got into this, what I call a borrow-to-work society.
Okay, cool.
So Aaron C.
Aaron C. Awesome, yeah.
And then we can do email back and forth. And what I'll do is I'll just send you links to our website and the student debt crisis, my stuff, and we can just rap about stuff, whatever.
Okay.
Have fun.
All right.
But
Yeah, I'll
cool,
definitely
man.
look you up. I'll definitely come and look into coming to the show. And
It's happening across the country. And tuition is going up and up and up, and the value of the degree is going down and down. And tuition is going up and up, and the value of the degree is going down. This is happening around the country. Around the country, tuition is going up and up and up and up and up, and the value of the degree is going down and down and down. And tuition is going up and up and up, and the value of the degree is going down and down and down. Some people get aid, some people get scholarships, some people get grant. But the majority of schools in this country are dealing in debt, in loans. So when you go to the student aid office, they're not aiding you with shit.